And hello and welcome to Highlights. My name is Jim Strawn, host of the television program. Highlights from the heart of our community is brought to you through a collaboration between Jim Strawn and Company, HD Media, and the Media Center. And our special sponsor, Banker's Life. There's no life like the Banker's Life. If you're a regular viewer of our show, and we certainly hope that you are, you know how much you love to focus on those grassroots organizations that are doing amazing work, individuals that are doing amazing work, corporations, companies, individuals, anybody and every organization doing really good work to make our great state of West Virginia a much better place to live, learn, work, and to play. And on today's Highlights program, we're going to feature an organization that has been doing just that since 1912. 1912, that's right, the YWCA of Charleston, West Virginia. About this time every year, after we get through the holidays and we have a couple skiing and we have a little bit of snow, we turn our attention to February. And for the YWCA, that means the annual Women of Achievement Luncheon. It'll be set for February 24th this year at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. You can see on the screen, Friday is the luncheon, February 24th, 2023. We'll start about 12. It's usually about a 90-minute luncheon. You can see the honorees right there. So we're going to be talking all things YWCA. We're going to be talking all things Women of Achievement. So sit back, relax, soak it all up. Lots of good insight, lots of good information coming your way. We hope that you'll be a part of this year's Women of Achievement Luncheon. Lots of interviews, lots of people to talk to, so I'm going to turn to my right, get started right now. I'm delighted to have on the set for the very first time Jennifer Goddard. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Jim.
You look
Thanks
great.
for having us.
You got the YWCA orange on, don't you?
Persimmon is our color.
Persimmon
Yes.
is a salmon. Persimmon is actually the color's persimmon.
YWCA's branded color, persimmon.
My favorite color ever, by the way. You're the newly minted Chief Executive Officer. You're the new CEO.
I am.
Pretty new, not even a year.
Oh
right?
gosh,
Like,
not even
not
barely
even
a
6
month.
months, yeah.
Barely a month. It'll be 2 months.
So it was official in January.
In December.
In December.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The end of December, Debbie Weinstein, our
Yeah.
wonderful CEO, retired and handed over on December 16th. It was my first day as the full CEO.
Talk to the audience. You've been around a while. You've been with the YW, but for you, in my opinion, you always were really not as forefront as Deb, not as forefront as Margaret, not as forefront as some of the program managers. You always just took care of things behind the scenes, a quiet leader. What's your journey? Talk to the audience about what your journey has been and what led you to be the CEO today at the YWCA.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
The YWCA has just been one of those organizations that I've been involved in throughout my entire career. I grew up most part of my life here in Charleston, worked all over the country with different organizations. I started my career in the nonprofit realm, working in communications. I have a degree in journalism and public relations. As an undergraduate, I have a master's degree in organizational management. And so as I worked my way through different roles, corporate communications, stakeholder outreach, community engagement on behalf of clients as a consultant, I was always wanting to make sure that I could contribute at home. And so when I was able to find an opportunity with YWCA Charleston as their chief program officer, it was a great opportunity for me to pivot out of the corporate environment and back into the nonprofit world where I started. And so I've got 6 years of experience with YWCA Charleston as the Chief Program Officer, working with all the program directors, helping them, I like to say, elevate and celebrate. So finding opportunities where we could work together and be even better than we've been, and then also celebrate the accomplishments and make sure that people knew all the great work that is happening throughout the entire YWCA.
Was it the plan for the YWCA's board? Was it the plan for the executive office there with Deb to mold you, to teach you, to inform you on all the things that go along with that role? Or did it just happen? Did you apply for that role? Did they interview other people? I honestly don't know how the transition worked.
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Deb certainly has been one of those great collaborators, invited me to collaborate with her on projects to make sure that I was able to do whatever the YWCA needed me to do. And when she announced her intention to retire to the board, they conducted a search. They had a search committee. They did a national search.
Okay.
It was a lengthy, grueling process
Okay.
from someone who was in the process as a
Okay.
candidate. And after a national search and about 6 months worth of applying and interviewing and engaging with folks, they invited me to take the position in June of 2022. And became official September 1st as the incoming CEO. And then on December 16th of 2022, I was named as, confirmed I was the CEO, and Deb was retired.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
From all of us at the Highlights program and me personally. You know this about me, I have done so many different television programs and shows and informational broadcasts featuring the YWCA, not just the Women of Achievement, but the Girls Night Out and the Guys Night Out. And I've had Margaret on for spring fashion shows, and it seems like we do 4 or 5 or 6 a year. And I think we do so many because you guys do a lot. You guys aren't just a program. You mentioned you're the outgoing program director, but talk about all the things and all the organizational programs and all the initiatives that the YWCA in Charleston does to help our community. Talk about all the programs that's going on there.
YWCA Charleston lives our mission. Our mission is eliminating racism and empowering women and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. So everything we do, all of the programs we operate are in service to our mission. We have the Racial Equity and Inclusion Program, which provides facilitated conversations and activities around anti-bias, anti-racism training and conversation, celebrating cultural heritage activities, and engaging our community in conversations so that we can all be a place where everyone belongs. We have the Sojourner Shelter for homeless women and families. It's a 75-bed shelter. We have the Coliseum McCormick Transitional Housing, which provides transitional housing for a program for up to 2 years to support women who have experienced domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or dating violence. And it's a way for folks to have a soft place to land after they've been through a crisis and then move forward in their lives from violence in a way that is supported so they can start fresh. We have the Resolve Family Abuse Program, a 16-bed emergency shelter, as well as court services in Boone, Clay, and Kanawha counties.
That program, the fundraisers that we have in the summer for Girls Night Out helps that program,
Correct.
Right? And then I want to back up, and then the Guys Night Out event that we do helps support the Sojourner Shelter. And I just want to make sure everybody is clear on all the things that we raise money for. It doesn't just go to the YW, it goes to a specific program for some of these events. So yeah, go ahead.
And that's by design because all of our programs are so dependent on so many different funding sources because as you can imagine, if you're housing 75 people at Sojourners or 16 people 24/7 at the Resolve Family Abuse Hope House, it takes a lot of resources because you have to staff, you have to provide food, clothing, snacks, you have to pay all those utilities. There's a lot that happens. And so the other programs, I just want to mention, we have the Shanklin Center for Senior Enrichment and Empowerment Homes. That's for the elderly women in our community, and they have a lovely community up on Elizabeth Street near our murals. You may have seen the murals on the corner there by Laidley Field.
Yeah, Carlos painted that, I do believe.
He did. And then last but not least, our other program that I want to make sure folks are aware of is the Mel Wolfe Child Development Center, serving infants
Donnelly Street, I believe.
Over on Donnelly Street, right across from the Martin Luther King Center, serving children ages 6 weeks all the way up through after schoolers and about age 12. And we operate all of those programs on really tight budgets and with a lot of attention to how we can support our mission through the work that we do.
We're having a really great conversation with the new CEO of the YWCA Charleston, Jennifer Goddard. Jennifer, you just mentioned budget, and you also alluded to the money that it takes to run these programs. You don't have to get really deep in the weeds, but you have different funding sources that help you. Do you have federal dollars? Do you have state dollars? Do you have county dollars, city dollars, and then all these community fundraisers and different grants? I'm sure you have all the above, right?
You're exactly right. It is all of the above, and that's why It takes a village.
Right.
Our community, we are in Boone, Clay, and Kanawha counties. We try very hard to make sure that we're able to support all of the folks who need us in those communities. We provide services in the courthouse, and all of the funding that comes in is a really complex puzzle to make sure that we can access the best resources we can find, and also we're always looking for that new supporter, that new opportunity to bring even more to our programs, because we do a lot for folks and there's always more we want to do and hope to do, but sometimes funding is a constraint. Women of Achievement is a fundraiser to cover all the gaps across all of those programs where we might not be able to find the funding within their budgets or within the programming. It also supports people like me. It supports the all of the back office support that you need when you run an organization with 90 employees almost, and we serve almost 4,000 people every year. So you can imagine.
That's the number, 4,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we're talking with Jennifer. I'm going to give the website and telephone number, then we're going to come back. And she just mentioned Women of Achievement. That's why we're here today, to talk more about that luncheon. But first of all, I want you to know you can go to their website, YWCACharleston.org, YWCACharleston.org. It is on the screen there. You can also give them a call, 304-340-3594, 3594, 304-340-3594. If I don't ask Jennifer a question that you need answered, I'm sure it'll be on their very insightful website, and you can also give them a call. Women of Achievement, the 2023 Women of Achievement. This is always a fan favorite. It's a community favorite. It's one of the most attended luncheons of the year. This year we're back at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center, back in their new part by the atrium, right?
Correct.
So what do you tell people who don't know about the Women of Achievement, or maybe they do, but how do you describe, this is your first year to be the CEO, how do you describe it to the community people about what the Women of Achievement luncheon is all about?
Women of Achievement celebrates amazing women in our community who have given so much of themselves to the community, and they've given so much of themselves to their professions or their passions, if they're passionate about something and it maybe not paid for that passion. And it's a way for us to celebrate and call attention and put a spotlight on these amazing women and let other people learn who they are and find out ways that they can engage with people that deserve to be celebrated and also have a lot to offer our communities. We have a lot of people who've been to this event. They say it's their favorite event.
Right.
Before I joined the team, and in years past, I always wanted to make sure I was in town for Women of Achievement, because you walk in and you may not know who these people are because they're busy people and they may not always have a spotlight on them. And when you hear their stories and when you learn about what they do and what they've accomplished in their lives.
And when you learn about the impact that they've quietly maybe had on our community, you're like, wow, really? You did that? Like you said, we may not have heard about them. We may have heard about them, but we don't. If we heard them, we don't know what they've really done. And then you hear their story, and you start to delve into who they are and their history and their resume. And it's just like, wow, no wonder you're a Woman of Achievement. And they're just truly, as you say, amazing and remarkable women. We put it up earlier. This year we're honoring 4 different women. The very first woman that we're going to hear from here, the very first honoree, it's the Lifetime Achievement Award. Now I think this is the first time we've done a Lifetime Achievement Award with the Women of Achievement. Is that correct?
You're correct, yes.
And so we've talked about Deb Weinstein. She's the first Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and she is going to be a Woman of Achievement. We did a phone interview with her because after her retirement, she just drove a little further south to be warmer, right? How's that work? What's that about?
I don't know. I'd love to know someday.
Someday we will. But our very first honoree, we had a chance to catch up with Deb via the phone. Debbie Weinstein, the former CEO of the YWCA Charleston. I believe she was there close to 40 years. I think she came in 1983, so it was very close to 40 years. But we had a chance to catch up with her, talk with her about the YW, and talk with how she felt about being the very first Lifetime Achievement Award winner and a 2023 Woman of Achievement. Here's Debbie Weinstein right here. Hello, Deb. How are you, Deb?
Jim Strawn. How lovely to hear your wonderful voice. Hi there.
How are you, girl? You doing good?
I'm hanging in there like a bad penny, as they say.
I love it. I love it. Now, we're talking with the recently retired President and CEO of the YWCA in Charleston, West Virginia, my dear friend, Debbie Weinstein. Deb, we've done this show well over 20 years. We've never done it from this perspective, though, have we?
No, and I have to tell you, I'm so humbled and, like, somewhat just taken aback.
I love it. You're doing a true snowbird thing, so you're a little bit south where it's a little warmer, but we'll see you on February 24th at this year's 2023 Women of Achievement. How does it, you were kind of indicating there, but how does it actually feel to be in with these honorees with the rest of the class of 2023, Deb?
I am sure I feel like what many of the former honorees and current honorees feel, which is like there are so many other people to honor. I'm just me. I'm just an ambassador of God, an ambassador of the community, an ambassador, blessedly, of the YWCA.
Of all the things that I could ask you, one that's natural is with your 40-year career and history working with the YWCA, you know the history, you know the rich tradition, you know the importance, you know how much you've grown, you know the programs that you've grown. How important and how critical is it that the YWCA of Charleston, West Virginia actually exists?
Oh my goodness, with the mission of eliminating racism and empowering women, we are still so far behind with both of those components of our mission as a society. You know, the YWCA fights for the safety, the well-being, and the equality of women every day. And racism, all we have to do is, read the news online, just watch the news, and you know how far behind we still stand with the elimination of racism. Every YWCA in the United States has the same mission, and we are fighting for these critical initiatives.
Deb, you worked so hard on that mission. The YWCA of Charleston, West Virginia, established in 1912. I can't believe I remember the 100th anniversary, and you were very instrumental in bringing in Maya Angelou. Do you remember that? How amazing was that, by the way?
Oh, let me tell you, I just was absolutely heartwarmed and blown away at the same time with Dr. Angelou. Her speech, I will never forget. I remember being on the stage, and all of a sudden, as I'm giving my speech, I look to the right, and there she is, listening to my speech behind the curtain. Yeah. I almost passed out on the spot. What a gem, what a precious national, international treasure she was, and what a blessing that we were able to bring her in for our 100th anniversary.
Can you believe time goes so quickly? That was over 10 years ago now, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Deb, what the heck just happened?
Blink your eye and it's just passing you.
I trust when we look back and reflect on our careers, and yours in particular, that it was meaningful, it was purposeful. We're not done yet, but we're letting the next generation continue the mission of the YWCA. What do you think the future is for Charleston, West Virginia with the Y and the YWCA with Charleston? How do you think the next 10, 20, 30 years is going to unfold, Deb?
You know what? It's just so hard to tell. We're such a divided country right now, and it's the saddest thing. It seems as though political civility has just gone not just out the window, but to the moon. We've always, as a country, been able to have different ideas about how we achieve the goals we want to achieve, and to do it civilly, even though we may have different positions of how we get there. But goodness gracious, it is a most challenging time. And as it pertains to the mission of the YW, eliminating racism and empowering women, we are in challenging times, super challenging times. Yet I have all the confidence in the world that the YW is going to continue to march forward strongly, squarely looking in the eye the obstacles that we have to overcome and figuring out solutions, because we are a solution-driven organization.
Absolutely, absolutely well said. Deb, I wish we could have had this interview face-to-face. The good news is we will all see you. We will all be face-to-face with you on February the 24th, 2023. Please join us as we recognize Deb at the 2023 YWCA's Women of Achievement Luncheon. We'll see you at 11:30, if not sooner, on the 24th. Deb, I love you. I respect you. I admire you. I think we have mutual respect. You're one of my favorite people ever, girl. You know that, don't you?
Back at you, my dear. Absolutely. Our hearts are entwined, and, our mission and our passion just lives on. So I look forward to seeing you.
And there she is, the first Lifetime Achievement recipient, this year's 2023 Women of Achievement, to help benefit the YWCA, the former CEO of the YWCA, Debbie Weinstein. Jennifer, we've kind of talked about her already. Was she just the natural selection for that when the selection committee said, we've got to honor this woman, 40 years? I mean, what an impact. I talked about the impact before with these ladies, but what a difference that lady has made in Charleston, West Virginia for almost a half a century.
You're right.
What else to say?
Our community's indebted to Deb and her leadership at the YWCA. She has made a lasting mark on our history. She has opened so many doors for so many people through the work of the YWCA and touched so many lives. I mean, you can't quantify with numbers all of the moments, those small moments that she had a hand in. Her fingerprints are on the YWCA and in such a powerful way. And we're so fortunate to have her to honor and agree to, she's a very modest person. She doesn't want to be called out for things that she has done. She's always ready to say that it's the team, it's us. There's no I in YWCA, no I in team.
Well, that was certainly her leadership style.
Exactly.
I'm not the boss. I'm one of us, and I'm leading us. But if I'm a leader or a follower, whatever my role is, I want this town, I want this community, I want these 4,000 people that we serve to have a better life. And you and I both worked with her a lot, and we saw the drive. And you mentioned powerful, but the drive was just powerful, and she just had that it factor, like you wanted to do it for her. And she demanded a lot, but she didn't do it because of her. She did it because of them, the clients, the people that we serve. So I always got that. So it was okay for her to be that driven, because I got what we were driving for. And boy, the committee did a nice job, and you're right, we are forever indebted to Deb. So you can come and be with Deb, you can be a part of the luncheon, you can congratulate Deb face to face on February 24th at the annual YWCA's Women of Achievement Luncheon. It'll start at 12 o'clock at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. The website that we gave earlier, you can go to the website, ywcacharleston.org, click on the tickets, get your tickets. You can also buy corporate tables, you can buy corporate sponsorships. I'm sure you can buy an ad in the program. All this money is going to the YWCA to help what Jennifer was talking about a little bit earlier. You can also just give them a call and say, hey, I'd like 2 tables, or I'd like a sponsorship, or I'd like to buy a couple tickets at 304-340-3594. This next honoree of Women of Achievement is Dr. Tracy Wilkerson. So we're going to play a video. I had a chance to catch up with her just a little bit earlier this week. It was an actual a video that we had. It's not live, and she's not here. We did it earlier this week, but here I am catching up with 2023 Women of Achievement for this year, Dr. Tracy Wilkerson, and here's what she had to say when we talked with her about being an honoree this year. And I'm thrilled to be joined by 2023 Woman of Achievement honoree, Dr. Tracy Wilkerson. Tracy, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
This always means so much. This show is always so powerful. Women of Achievement, I forget what year this year is, but it's well into the 20s. When you got the phone call, did you believe it? And then when it sank in, how does it make you feel that you're a 2023 YWCA Woman of Achievement?
Oh, well, I really appreciated it. I was so grateful. Of course, it was a huge surprise. So that part was fun because it's fun to have a good surprise. And just growing up in this community, I've always really, looked up to people, looked up to previous winners. Always thought that people were doing such good things in the community and loved to see those people highlighted. And so it just meant a lot to me to be a recipient and be one of those people.
And here you are, and you look up to those people, and now people are looking up to you. Talk a little bit about your journey to get to where you are. You're a pediatric dentist. Your father was.
Yes.
How inspirational was he for you to follow in those footsteps?
Yeah, I mean, hugely important to the decisions I made in my life. My mom and dad both, and I really respect people that can be mentors to others. And so just working with kids myself, I really take that under consideration. I'm constantly encouraging my young patients to want to go into dentistry or ask them what they want to do when they get older. And a few years ago, I started a scholarship in my dad's name, so I get to pick my patients that go on into dentistry, and I encourage them along the way. And we've had several recipients so far, so it's really nice to do that. But the passing it on part is the part that's nice. So I take that role pretty seriously and wanting to inspire my younger patients, and I get to work with a great team, and we get to learn together too. So that part's nice as well.
You just mentioned it. You're from Charleston.
Yes.
Actually, I think you were raised maybe on the east
Yes,
end of Charleston.
I was,
So
I
you're
was,
you're really local, right?
Yes, yes.
So you know the YWCA. You've known
Always.
It was established in 1912. Not that we were around,
Yes.
but we know how rich their history is.
Yes.
Talk about what the YWCA means to our community from your perspective, and what you hope the YWCA continues to be for generations to come.
Right. So I definitely think it's a foundation of our community. There's no doubt about that. And growing up here, I always knew that as a member of this community. But we do need to play an active role at all ages to carry that on, to make sure that we pass that on to the next generations, not only people volunteering and giving of their time and talents, but also people being able to benefit from their services. And that's more important than ever now. So there's definitely a legacy there that we need to uphold and keep going.
As we get ready for the luncheon toward the end of February, it's always a big deal,
Yes.
pretty well attended. I know your family pretty well. You and I know each other pretty well socially and from different things and different circles. I'm assuming your entire family will be there and your extended family. How excited are they that Mom and my wife and my sister, how excited are they that you're getting this award?
Oh, that's kind of been one of my jokes. They're so excited for me, but I joke when people congratulate me in public. I say, well, my house still isn't clean and my kids still don't listen to me. So it's that, a Woman of Achievement is an awesome title.
So
but
you're a normal mom
I'm
then,
a
right?
normal mom, but I'm very proud to be a mom too. So that's one of my highest achievements, but I'll be excited to have them there as well.
Well, I'm very proud of you. We are very proud of you. From all of us in our community, thank you for what you've done. Continue good work. Continue good work with your practice, and we'll see you at the luncheon.
All
okay?
right, sounds great.
Hey,
thank you so much.
And that is Dr. Tracy Wilkerson, and as I mentioned, we will see her at the 2023 Women of Achievement Luncheon. And there she is, Dr. Tracy Wilkerson, a 2023 Women of Achievement honoree for this year's YWCA Women of Achievement. I think you can tell how much I adore her. We all do. She's just wonderful. She's so pleasant. She's so great. She is a great mom, great wife, great dentist. Everybody just adores her to death. Jennifer, you're just getting to know her, right? Is that
Correct.
what we're talking off air?
Yes.
Like, you've got to know her now. Isn't she just a joy?
She is. She's like sunshine in a bottle. She
Yeah.
just brings that into the room. She's got such a good heart. The things that she has done that are being celebrated in naming her a Woman of Achievement are really, again, having a lasting impact on our community.
She mentioned a couple things that really resonated with you and that it brought to my attention. She talked about mentoring, and she talked about the next generation, and she's bringing her children into the next generation. The Women of Achievement, through this luncheon, you guys have, is it called a Breakfast with Champions?
Yes.
This is fairly new, maybe the last 5 or 6 years, I can't remember. It's not been around forever, but what is the Breakfast of Champions? What do you try to do with that conceptually?
The Breakfast with Champions gives young women, girls from the elementary schools in the area, an opportunity to spend a really wonderful chunk of time with the honorees. And because of COVID and some other things, we're also bringing back another class, the class of 2022. They're also going to be joining us to have Breakfast with Champions and talk with students from elementary school age about life lessons, and really give kids an opportunity. You know, that proximity to people who are successful and energized and wonderful is just wonderful for children to have that opportunity. And, you know, our Women of Achievement are certainly people children deserve to know, and get those life lessons in a really fun environment. We'll be down at West Virginia State University. They'll have breakfast. They get a couple really nice books and some conversation, and then we also get a tour of West Virginia State University. A lot of the children who are participating may or may not have an opportunity to think about going to college, and so this is that opportunity to be on a college campus, take a tour, and learn more about what their potential is in life.
And this breakfast with champions, is it with the Women of Achievement? If they can make it their part of the breakfast?
Yes,
the class. It's in conjunction with this luncheon and the honorees, correct?
Yes, we asked two things. We asked that they allow us to honor them at the Women of Achievement luncheon, and that we asked them that they participate in this very important event with the next generation, inviting them to share their life lessons with the
Well, that was a good segue. Tracy just set that table right up there for us, didn't she?
She did.
Very nice. Well, we have a few more honorees that we're going to catch up with. This one, too, just like Deb's, is a telephone interview. Our next honoree, 2023 YWCA Women of Achievement, is Karen Williams. We caught up with Karen. She's in a little warmer state as well. Wish I were with her, but nonetheless, I know Karen really well, and we had a great conversation. She's really powerful, and she brought a lot of insight with our conversation. I look forward to seeing her. I know her as well from her work in the education world, but we talked about everything in her journey, about all the things that she had going on in her career. And here's that conversation with honoree, Women of Achievement honoree, Karen Williams, right here. Hello, Karen Williams.
Yes.
Hey, Karen,
Hello.
It's Jim Strawn. How are you, girl? You doing good?
I'm doing great. I am just happy to talk to you today.
Well, I'm coming to you from West Virginia, but you're in the heart of the Sunshine State, and I know you're thawing out down there while we're up here in this cold and rain and the wintry bliss of West Virginia winter, right? Is that correct?
Well, it's 85 degrees.
Okay,
today,
okay. That's enough of that, Karen.
And that's all I'm going to say.
That is enough of that.
Being a snowbird.
Well, hey.
Being a snowbird has its advantage.
Karen, you and I know each other from the education world, I believe. I believe you and I interfaced about 10, 15 years ago with the Head Start conference that we had in Charleston, West Virginia. So we know each other. So I'm going to be one of the first, I know I'm not the first, to congratulate you on being a YWCA 2023 Woman of Achievement. Do you know where you were and how you felt when you were first told you were going to be one of our honorees this year? And how did that feel?
I was home, and I had no idea. And I had all of these cars pulling up to my house. And the board from the YWCA came into my house, and they announced it, and I was in awe. I was shocked. I was humbled, because every year I attend the Women of Achievement Award luncheon and never dreamed that I would be selected.
So you know the power, you know the impact, you know the significance of this, and you're a retired educator. As we mentioned, I met you while you were still working as an educator, and you've been very active with activism, social justice, women's rights, so forth and so on. Talk to the audience a little bit about your journey, your career, and why you chose that field and why it was so important to you to leave that legacy that you are leaving, continuing today.
I was blessed to have two wonderful parents. And my father was the first black graduate of WVU Law School. And when we moved to Charleston, when I was 3, I was just a little girl. But we attended Simpson Memorial United Methodist Church. At that time, it was a very segregated community. And I would see attorneys and political people come to my home, and they would talk about how to make life better for their children and the people in the community. And I think that rubbed off on me, and I didn't even realize it. And going through schools integrating in the 50s, I was probably in one of the first groups of school children who attended an integrated school at Glenwood Elementary School. And I can't even imagine how my parents felt when they sent me there, but it worked out well. I had wonderful teachers. I made wonderful friends. We started a Girl Scout troop, and I still have lifelong friends from that era in my life. Moving forward, I always had relatives that attended the Martin Luther King March in Washington with the I Have a Dream speech, and we just had people in the family and in the church. Mrs. Gilmer, who protested at the Diamond department store to make sure that people could eat at the lunch bar. And just seeing those examples were just a normal part of my life. So when I retired, I would sit and watch the news, and I would just become very distraught. And politically, when I was teaching, we followed all the laws, all the rules, but so many of the policies and decisions are made in our government that govern our children, that govern our communities. And at that time, I thought, what can I do? I wasn't seeking to be a leader. I wasn't seeking to, I just wanted to be a voice. I wanted to be a positive voice in the community to help make it better for our families and our citizens. As a Head Start director, I could see how poverty impacted people across the state. And I'd always ask my parents, do you want your children to do better than what you're doing?
Right.
And every parent would raise their hand. And that was the dream that I had for my children, that they would do well in the society, to be able to be educated well, to be able to work. And a lot of that depends on politics and the policies. So I started first by getting people registered to vote. I worked with the Affordable Care Act and getting people registered to get their health care. And then I became involved. I guess people noticed what I was doing and became involved in serving on many boards that knew the ins and outs of policies and how we could make a difference. I was elected at that time to be the president of Our Children, Our Future. And during the reign that I was president, we had 18 policies and we had 18 legislative victories. And it didn't matter if it was Democrat or Republican. We went in, told our stories about our families, about our communities, and what would work for them. I've always wanted my children to do well, and I've always wanted them to be around me. And how do we keep our young people here in West Virginia?
Right.
Do we have to have a brain drain where people grow up in West Virginia, get educated, and leave? I'm fortunate. My children still live in West Virginia.
I love it.
But it becomes challenging because they need good jobs. They need jobs with insurance. They need to provide for their family. And now as a grandmother, I still have the vision that I can make a difference. But, Jim, I never feel like I'm doing enough because there's always more to be done.
That seems like a theme. That seems like a theme, Karen, with all the 2023 Women of Achievement. And I've been interviewing you wonderful ladies for well over 20 years for the YWCA in regards to this special luncheon coming up on February 24th as we continue our conversation with Karen Williams, who is a 2023 YWCA Woman of Achievement. You certainly embody the mission of the YWCA, eliminating racism, empowering women. What is the impact that the YWCA has in the Charleston, West Virginia community. You know, they've been around since 1912. I think they're going to be here in the future. Why are they so critical, Karen? Why is the YW so critical for our
I'm going
community?
to tell you my personal experience. I went to Glenwood Elementary School. I went to Simpson Memorial United Methodist Church. And I also went to Camp Happy Day at the YWCA.
I remember that.
That was one of the safe places that my family felt that we could go, that we would be included, that we would be treated fairly, and it gave us the opportunity to make friends with people all across the city of Charleston. Also the Girl Scouts, too, because my mother was a professional Girl Scout. But going to the YWCA, going to Camp Happy Day, going and taking swimming lessons, going all through my life, I had a membership in the YWCA. I believe that my mother served on the board of the YWCA, and it was always an important part of our lives, with different classes, with the initiatives that they've had with the Race Against Racism. When I had breast cancer, and I was on the committee to plan the fashion show, the first fashion show that the Cancer Center provided. And we had to find clothes for women who were going through chemo and having the breast cancer. Well, I selected my clothes to come from Past and Present, which is the YWCA closet where they give clothes away. And I modeled my clothes just like they had come from Saks Fifth Avenue or one of the other stores, Macy's or whatever.
I love it.
I felt proud to represent not only a breast cancer survivor, but also the YWCA, because there are many women who are going through that struggle who don't have a lot of money, but they still need to go to work, they still need to have clothes. And I plan to wear the shoes that they gave me after the fashion show. The Y donated all of the clothes that I had to me, and I plan to wear the shoes to the luncheon.
Well, speaking of the luncheon, it is February 24th this year at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Karen, I have a sneaky suspicion that we could talk with you forever and a day, and you have wonderful stories. I know I could, but we're gonna sneak off of here, and we're gonna save those stories. We're gonna save our hugs. We're gonna save our smiles when we see you face to face on February 24th, 2023, at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center for this year's YWCA Women of Achievement Luncheon. Karen, thank you so much for joining me by phone today. I look forward to our reunion face to face, okay?
I'll be happy to see you and all of the people that will come out to support the YWCA.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. We'll talk to you very, very soon. See you soon. See you next month. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And there she is. What a delight. Another 2023 Women of Achievement celebrating the YWCA. Wow. There are all these women, Jennifer, just like every class, every year for the last 20-some years. These women, I run out of words. I start to run out of adjectives. You know, I use phenomenal and amazing and trailblazing and impactful, and I don't know all the words to use. You just get kind of speechless after a while listening to their stories, what they've done, what they've meant to our community. Karen was no different.
Absolutely.
I mean, just...
Karen Williams is a force in our community, and I think that, people don't, as we talked earlier, they don't understand how they couldn't possibly know this woman. They know their work. They know the impact. They felt the impact in our community, and maybe just didn't know that Karen Williams was the person driving that activity or driving those events. She has had such an amazing career as an educator and certainly as a community activist and someone who cares deeply about all people in our community. I'm so grateful. I didn't know before I met her in context of Women of Achievement about her YWCA history. because I know her through her activism and her energy and her passion for education.
And much like you, I knew her, but not at all of her circles. I knew her as a Head Start director.
Right.
And I spoke at her conference before, and we've known each other for about 10 or 12 years. But you just don't know, I think we were talking off air, all the circles, and she gets so involved with all the circles, and they're all different. They're all powerful, they're all community and grassroots oriented. Just another trailblazer, just great, great, great stories that she has, and I look forward to seeing her at the 2023 Women of Achievement Luncheon, February 24th. Go to ywcacharleston.org to get your tickets, or to give them a call at 304-340-3594. Jennifer, before I let you go, a couple years ago, and I don't know how long we've been doing it now, but not since the beginning, but it's probably been 10 or 12, or could be 15 years, we started doing the Empowerment Award recipient, the Empowerment Award. Talk about the Empowerment Award, and then we're going to meet this year's 2023 Empowerment honoree. So talk about the award itself.
The Empowerment Award is generously supported by Encova, so I have to give them a big shout out. You know, we have so many sponsors,
Nice.
so many supporters
Nice.
of all of our programs, and Encova has been there with us on this for so many years, and they're delighted to sponsor the Empowerment Award itself. And every year we look at folks who have been through a YWCA program, who have really had an opportunity to move forward in their lives, and oftentimes they stay connected to YWCA in some way. They stay in touch with our staff. They call out when they're having a big success. We have people who are always reaching out to us. That's the thing that I know our program directors really appreciate. They hear from people when they're having success, and they sometimes hear from people when they're not having success, and maybe they need to reconnect because they need that little boost. They need to feel that little bit of extra from someone they know cares about them, and that's, to me, just beautiful. And our Empowerment Award winners are nominated by our staff.
Okay.
And over the time that I've been with YWCA Charleston, we have just had the most beautiful stories from people talking about where they came into the YWCA at a point in their lives when they really needed what we offer through our programs. And they are able to share how that had an impact on them, and then share what they've learned and how they've prospered and progressed forward in their lives as an example to other people, that they can say, look, I was there and now I'm here. And it's uplifting, and it brings me to tears to just talk about it, because people need to know that when they're supporting YWCA Charleston, whether they're supporting one of the individual programs or they're buying a ticket to Women of Achievement, they are creating an opportunity to pay it forward and support success. Whatever that success looks like for that individual coming through our program, they have a hand in that, and we're so excited by
These
that.
empowerment honorees are kind of a microcosm of what we do at the YWCA. You mentioned 4,000 earlier. Yes, we're going to feature one. Yes, we're going to honor one, but they really embody all the clients that we work with, and it's just like you said, it can and it does, and there'll be tears shed at the luncheon. I can guarantee it. Hey, do you have a parting shot you'd like the audience to know before I let you go? Anything about the YW? Continue your support. We'll see you at the luncheon. Anything maybe I haven't asked you that you want the audience to know about the YWCA or Jennifer Goddard?
As the new CEO, it's my honor and privilege to lead this team, to come into an organization that is so held in high regard by our community. I look forward to getting to know our partners and our supporters in our community, and really invite folks to reach out if they'd like to get together with me or learn more about our programs. I'm really excited about the future that we have with YWCA Charleston, and I invite folks to join us on the journey.
I have a warm and confident feeling that you're going to be just fine. Best of luck to you
Thank you.
this year and beyond. Jennifer Goddard, right there she is, our new CEO with the YWCA Charleston. We've been talking about the Women of Achievement Luncheon coming up February the 24th. Starts at noon. It's at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. YWCACharleston.org to get your tickets, or give them a call, 304-340-3594. Now, as promised, we're going to take a short break right here, thank our sponsors and thank our supporters, and when I come back, I'm going to be sitting here with the 2023 YWCA's Women of Achievement, the Empowerment Award honoree. And I'll be right back. I look forward to chatting with her and you. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our supporters of the television program. Highlights from the Heart of Our Community is brought to you through a collaboration between Jim Strawn and Company, the Media Center, and HD Media. And our newest sponsor, special thanks to Bankers Life. There's no life like the Bankers Life. For over 140 years, Bankers Life has provided financial security to their clients and policyholders. During that same time, Bankers Life has helped change the lives of many of their associates personally, professionally, and financially. Questions? Do you have questions regarding Medicare and Social Security? Give them a call, 304-757-4134. Or if you're interested in a free review with a licensed agent or looking for a new career in the financial industry, contact Dennis Harmonson, dennis.harmonson, Harmison, at bankerslife.com. There's no life like the Banker's Life. And we are back just like that. What a great conversation. What a great show it's been. What a great highlights program we've had for you today. And now, the coup de grace. Here we are. Jennifer and I were just talking about the Empowerment Award recipient for 2023. We learned about what the award is about. It is someone who has received services with the YWCA and doing great things out and beyond the program of the YWCA. The 2023 Empowerment Award winner, Chanel Hunt. Chanel, how are you?
I'm good.
You're good. Let me hear you.
I'm good.
Okay, I thought you were good. I wanted you to hear your goodness coming out.
Okay.
Hey, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Where were you when someone said, "Hey, Chanel, guess what? You're going to be our award winner." Where were you, and how did that make you feel?
I think I was in my car.
Okay.
Traveling back from a travel assignment.
Okay.
And Kyla called me on the phone, and I kind of had that pause. I just was like...
Did you have to pull over?
I didn't pull over
Okay.
because I had a destination.
Okay. But you had to collect yourself,
Yes,
I bet.
because...
Did you believe it? Did you
No.
think she was pulling your leg?
I definitely did. I definitely did.
Wow.
And then I had to remember, Kyla's not a jokester.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a joke, and here you are, and we're going to honor you on February the 24th of this year at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Let's talk a little bit about maybe your journey. Everybody's journey is interesting to me, and yours is no different. Talk about where you're from and how you ended up in Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, I'm from Florida.
Atta girl.
I went to school for pharmacy tech,
Okay.
and I had an issue with my background, and Florida gave me a license but told me I wasn't allowed to work in the state of Florida. So I sent out 180 resumes to 7 different states. I got 6 callbacks from Charleston, West Virginia. So I packed up my
That was
kids.
a sign.
Yes.
That was a sign. If we're looking for signs, that was one.
That was one of
A
them.
big one.
I
Okay.
remember sitting my kids down and telling them we're moving to West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Out of the middle of Florida, right?
Yes.
Give or take, in the middle of Florida.
Yes, Central
How many
Florida.
children? How many children?
At that time, I had 3, and I was pregnant with 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here we go. You came to Charleston. How long ago was that, Chanel?
That was in 2010, the end of 2010.
So you've been here for a little while. Do you mind talking about the program that you worked through when you were with the YWCA?
I've actually been through 2 of them.
Okay.
And that was the Sojourners.
Okay.
And then Alicia McCormick Holmes.
Okay.
Yes.
Things are good now. Your future looks bright, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Very bright.
What did the YWCA do for Chanel? What did they do for you? Where would you be without the YWCA?
I would probably still be getting it together.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my process of achieving goals is this is my time frame that I have set and I'm going to achieve it by this time. But sometimes we push ourselves and we just need a little bit more time. And with that time, sometimes we need some help. And Sojourners, Alicia McCormick Holmes, they both allowed me that time to get it together, but also not punishing me for needing time, equipping me with encouragement and resources to help me.
Jennifer was talking to, and some of the former clients, call back or come back. It's a pretty warm family for you to land there, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
That's your family,
yes,
right?
Yes. I make that of everybody who I come in contact with. I don't believe that you come in contact with people just by mere chance. It's meant to be. It's destined. And so I try to hold tight, especially to good people like Kyla, Jennifer, Debbie. They've all been very helpful and a big part of where I am today.
You've mentioned a couple things, and I usually shy away from saying this on a show like this, but you have a plan, but then there is a master plan. There's a bigger plan.
That's right.
And they help you understand the bigger plan while you're working your plan.
Yes.
Is that a good way to put that?
Yes.
Yeah, I do that all the time. There's a big plan out there, and I got my own plan, but there's a master plan. So we're all just working. That's why I say we're all on a journey. Are you ready for February 24th? Who will be there for you to support you on February 24th at the Women of Achievement Luncheon?
I don't know.
Will your children be there?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
my children will be there.
That's
Yes.
pretty important.
I
isn't it?
invited a handful of people, and I'm hoping that they all are able to show. And those people who I invited, they have also been strong supporters with me since day one, and they've helped support me and keep me strong.
Very good. I look forward to hearing your remarks at the luncheon. I know that makes you a little bit nervous, doesn't it? But you're going to be great, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Because it's coming from right here. I can tell it's coming from right here. With
See,
you.
now you're on my supporter list.
And you can call me anytime. I can give you maybe some pointers to address the audience, because they're going to love your story. And you know what else? Before they love your story, they're going to love you, Chanel.
Thank you.
Just like I did. I just met you. Look at that smile, girlfriend. I love you, man. Do you have, like I asked Jennifer, you just heard me ask Jennifer, I always like to give my guests an opportunity to say a parting shot or to say something or give the audience something that maybe I haven't asked you that you want them to know. Is there something that you want the audience to know about you or about the YWCA's programs or what this luncheon means? Is there something that they need to know that I haven't asked you?
They need to know that I read this saying about a month ago, and I'm real particular about important things that you read. You should always read, because there's something important in reading. But this saying that I read, it said, what is the most powerful thing you've ever said? And the gentleman responded was help.
Help.
He said,
That's a good one.
Because that asking for help is a sign of strength.
That's right.
And not weakness.
That's absolutely right.
And so.
And that's what you did.
Yes.
That's how strong you are. I love it.
Yes.
I'll see you on February 24th.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. I will see you there.
Did a great job. And we'll see you there. We'll see Chanel there. We'll see Jennifer there. We hope to see 800 people, 1,000 people. I don't know. It's a big luncheon. Circle that date. Get your tickets. February 24th, 2023, Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. It'll start at noon. YWCACharleston.org or 304-340-3594. You can see on the screen the ladies that we will be honoring that day. We hope that you will join us. There's still corporate sponsorships left, table sponsorships, and individual tickets. And that is all the time we have for on this edition of Highlights from the Heart of Our Community. As always, brought to you through a collaboration between Jim Strawn and Company, HD Media, and the Media Center, with our special sponsor, The Banker's Life. There's no life like The Banker's Life. We'll see you on February 24th, and we'll see you next time right here on Highlights. Take care now.